And Brian, what skill do you think is the most important for senior developers?
Honestly, I think I think adaptability is
Okay.
probably the best because if you look at it now, right, you're getting kind of graduates out of college who are looking at AWS or they're looking at cloud computing and they're getting the background in it, or they're looking at big data technologies, or
Okay.
they're working with Spark. I know Spark's been around a long, long time, maybe 10 years now, maybe slightly more, 2008 I think. But if college graduates and junior programmers are coming in with this technology, you really need to have some knowledge of it.
Okay.
And it means you just have to really, really work at it. So adaptability is very important. Companies will always look for adaptable programmers at senior level,
Okay.
not niche programmers.
Okay. So that's certainly is a key factor uh, that we should work on. And Brian, which what should we focus to have fewer bugs in our projects?
Um, I guess if we're talking more about collaboration with a team, I think transparency is very, very important. And I think having a good attitude is very important. So if you're a senior and you're in a team of maybe four, or maybe two intermediates, three juniors, and two graduates, like everybody has a part to play.
Okay.
There's stuff that a graduate would know that I wouldn't know, and you have to kind of treat them with respect and make sure that you're transparent with them, and you talk about the problems you're facing, and you discuss the specs of what you're trying to do, and your code reviews are nailed on. So pick a kind of design pattern, or not a design pattern, but pick a kind of coding style, and try and get everyone adhering to that. So there's no kind of I know when you're looking at someone's code and you're like, what are they trying to do? They're using weird names for variables. Like you know a C programmer from a Java programmer, because the C programmer, their variables are like D_2_8. You're like, what is that? So kind of, I guess, be transparent in your dealings with your team, and be transparent in how you code as well. So let's say you're in a project where you don't really use Java docs. You should be very explicit with your class method and variable names. Like, it should really tell you what it does. Like, this class does this.
Okay.
So kind of naming conventions and coding style are very, very important, because most bugs really come from more than one or two people not understanding what the other person is doing. So collaboration and transparency will definitely cut your bugs down. And like, the thing is not that when you get bugs, even big bugs, the thing is not to panic. It's just to go, right, okay, we messed up, or there's a problem here. Let's break it down and let's see what we can do to fix this. So, and the only way you can do that really is to have that kind of transparent team atmosphere and collaboration where everybody is chipping in, everyone's moving the team forward. So that's kind of my take on it.
That's the really powerful tip that Brian gave us. So just to recap, Brian said that the core skills that a senior must have is adaptability. That means that we should learn new technologies under pressure when technology changes at work, because as he said, graduates are coming with AWS knowledge and many new stuff, and it's our responsibility to keep up with those technologies. The other one is focus. So we don't learn technology overnight, so we should focus on it. And we have to have persistence, because it takes time. It's always a process to learn something new. So have persistence, even though sometimes it seems that you are not learning. Someday it will click.
Yeah,
like you said.
it's just kind of like there's like a honeymoon period of like 3 to 6 months where like
Honeymoon.
no, I wouldn't say honeymoon period, but I can always look at it. It's like a graph. There's an inflection point where you're going down, and you're like, when you start a new job, even if you're senior, you kind of doubt yourself. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. Do people are people like wondering, who is this guy? Or who is this guy? Or who is this girl? Do they know what they're doing? And then you come to an inflection point where things click, and you start getting better, and then it's fine. You're working great. And it's the same with new technologies. I remember when I was learning Spark for the first time, and I was learning MongoDB and even Cassandra. Like, you'd go on Stack Overflow, and there'd be nothing there. there'd be like questions but no answers, and then you're like, okay, well I have to dig deep into this. So that's where the persistence comes. As well, like, so like if you need to persist, I mean, if something you need to have like an engineering hat on, that like this is broken or I don't understand this, I'm going to take it apart and understand it, and that's the key really, like that's persistence.
Okay. And also, a key skill that we should always develop to have fewer bugs is collaboration. So we should always collaborate, involve all the developers in the team,
Yeah.
because all of them are important. And if we know how to involve them
Yeah.
on every feature, on every development, they will grow and they will help the team to grow faster as well.
Yeah.
So, and they will understand the code and they will be maintaining the code better.
Yeah, so yeah, and the thing is, like, if you let a couple of graduate developers or junior developers kind of sit and just do little bits and bobs here and there, they're not going to really get the scope of a project or what you're trying to do from a like a 3 or 6 month down the line, or even from a pipeline point of view. I get them involved in everything, because if you don't, what will happen is they'll develop bad habits. Bad habits lead to poor quality leads to bugs.
Okay.
And so be transparent, help people out, foster a collaborative team spirit, and seniors make bugs as well. So don't be afraid to put your hand up and say, hey guys, I messed up.
Exactly.
I've done it a few times. I've RM minus RF'd an ETC folder in a production environment before for a company I worked on. And thank God we had backups, but like, as a root user, I did that. So like, you do make mistakes, so don't think that you're infallible either. So just because you're senior doesn't mean that you're a god. You're a bit more experienced, you have a bit more grey hair, it's a bit some hair's falling out, you have bags on your eyes and wrinkles like me, so you're a bit more weathered, but you still make mistakes. So be transparent with everybody and have a good team attitude.
That's really powerful, because once you assume your mistakes, you get more respect from everyone, because no one is perfect. Everyone doesn't make mistakes. So if you assume that to your team, you will be seen like someone that they should respect, because if you have the courage of assuming your mistakes, it means that you are really confident regarding your skills and you have no problem about assuming them. So Brian, it was really good, the interview, and well, I learned a lot, and for sure NoBugsProject audience, you learn a lot as well. And thanks very much.
No worries, yeah, it was a good talk to you, and hopefully people can take something away from this.
Yes, can you talk about your project? Brian has also an amazing project he's developing in his masters, and you can take a look.
So my thesis is on self-driving cars. So using a simulation called AirSim, and what AirSim does is it uses object segmentation. So the cameras actually segment objects and they outline them and color them in monotone, or not monotone, but like just full color. So you see green, blue, yellow, purple. So it's able to segment different objects in a real-time image. But where my thesis comes in is I would like to develop some deep Q networks using reinforcement learning on top of that. So can we basically put a simulated car into a test environment, just like a learning driver, not teach them anything about the rules of the road, maybe just give them like a theory test, and then let them learn in the simulated environment and learn from mistakes by doing reinforcement learning. And then once they get to a certain threshold, put them into an urban environment and see how it acts to avoid collisions and how it can leverage the object segmentation and basically not cause an accident. So it's a very ambitious project. It will probably kill my social life for the next year, but it's probably worth it. And like the thing is like that's the whole thing about being senior. Like I could have just taken a thesis around, you know, some machine learning around some financial data or data that we work with in our day-to-day life in fintech. But what's the point in doing a master's in AI if you're not going to pick something that's really interesting and really difficult that you have to persist with? The whole point of this thesis isn't to actually get a working result, it's to prove, can this actually be leveraged to a certain point?
Okay.
So that's the whole point of it. If I got it working, I'd have my own startup and I'd be
Whoa.
rich. But it's more for just getting it, getting the prototype or the proof of concept for that. So that's the project. Just one last thing I would say to your audience for the Java developers. A lot of people think AI is Python and you have to do Python. There's actually a really good framework called Deep Learning 4J. So it's a deep learning framework that's specifically for Java. So it works on the JVM and it leverages Spark for big data pipeline, for pipelining data through and doing some transformations. So anyone who's interested in machine learning or AI and is an out-and-out Java developer, look at Deep Learning 4J and see if you can mess around with it, because it uses TensorFlow and Keras, but it has it embedded in a Java framework. So it's actually quite fast because it leverages the native JVM in Java with Spark.
Okay, so deep learning for J.
Yeah.
And maybe Brian will be the next rich guy with his startup.
Not happening.
Who knows? Nobody knows.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, so thanks very much, Brian. And it was really nice talking to you.
Yeah, you too. All right. See you guys. Bye bye.
See you guys.